everybody. My name is 𝚐𝚘𝚗𝚝𝚎. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm really excited that you decided to join me to practice some yoga today. We've got a really soft, gentle flow planned. It's important to really listen to what your body needs every day in the moment, because we're going to be different from day to day. Even those of us who do have a fairly consistent, strong yoga practice are going to have those days where we really just need to keep things slower, softer, and a little bit more delicate to balance out with the days where we're feeling a little bit more energetic and want to do something a bit more dynamic. I would recommend keeping yoga blocks or a couple of books near the mat just in case you need them. Not necessary, so if you don't, then don't worry. You can absolutely still do this practice. But if you do have those available, keep them by your mat. That way you can access them if you need them. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, then I invite you to do that, because you will be able to stay updated on any new videos as they come out. So we will get started now with our gentle flow by laying down on our backs. So come into a lying down position on your mat with your legs extended and your arms open, palms facing up. You might find that this causes slight discomfort in your lower back with your legs extended. And if that's the case, simply bend your legs, keep your feet on the mat, and let your knees rest on one another. Another option that you might want to take, if you would like a little bit more of a hip opener, is to bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop open. So any of these options is good. Find out which one works for you, and I also invite you to explore. So not always getting too much into a routine and doing the same position, but trying to explore a little bit. And then once you find a position that allows you to fully drop in and begin to relax, let your eyes close and your breathing begin to grow deeper and slower. You're keeping your jaw fully relaxed, but you're breathing in and out through your nose if that's possible. So we just take a moment to let ourselves make the transition from whatever we were doing into this exact moment. So we're trying to distance ourselves from everything else that's external and bring our attention fully inwards. So continue to let your breathing grow more steady, more fluid, and really feel into the movement of your breath. So feeling how as you draw it in, you can hear it traveling down your throat, going into your lungs, and starting to expand your chest. And then as you exhale, emptying your lungs, air traveling back up through your throat and then out of your nostrils. And find that calm, soothing peace that it gives you to just listen to your breathing. And listening to your breathing is a really good way to ensure that you're staying in this present moment, because the more you're focusing on your breathing, less you're thinking about everything else, before, after, all around. Now continuing this nice, fluid, deep breathing, begin to feel into the sensations that you have in your body and starting to notice if you have any little spots that feel sticky or feel a little bit rigid. And just by becoming aware, see if you can maybe start to slowly, slowly melt away a little bit of that stickiness. Just by being aware. Feel the back of your head firmly planted on the mat, growing heavy. And then feel into your shoulders and see if they can actually shift slightly heavier down toward the mat. Usually they have a little more space to release something. Check again that your jaw is completely relaxed. Try to feel how your hands and your feet are completely still. And now leaving your body completely still. After your next exhale, begin to draw in a long and drawn out inhale into your nose. And feel that the only thing in your body moving is your chest and your heart as they expand together with your lungs. Keep filling up until you can't anymore. And then hold that. And open your lips and exhale everything out of your mouth. And imagine this cleansing breath is sending away all of those things that you don't need to carry. Let's do one more. Inhaling into your nose. Drawing the breath in as slowly as you can, slower than you want to. And when you can't pull any more air in, just hold that. Release your shoulders back. Relax your jaw, and then inhale a tiny sip more. Open your lips and exhale. Get everything out. And make sure you follow that exhale all the way out until you're completely empty. And then bring your lips back together, your tongue relaxed, eyes are still closed. And begin to come back into your fluid, deep breathing in and out through your nose. So you're trying to keep the inhales and the exhales the same length in time. And that becomes the constant in our practice, is our solid, fluid, deep breathing. But we'll begin to incorporate a little bit of movement. So if your legs are extended or your knees have gone out to the side, then slowly bring your feet onto the mat with your legs bent. And then from here, start to bring your legs in toward your chest. So knees bent, and you can unite your big toes, squish them together, and bring your hands to your knees. So your knees are actually really spread wide. And with your hands, you're going to start to draw your knees as though you're going to bring them to the outside of your ribs. But keep pushing your toes together and feel your tailbone stuck to the mat. Your whole spine firmly planted. And now from here, release your left leg and extend it onto the mat. You bring both hands onto your right knee, and using both hands, draw your right knee toward your right shoulder as much as you can. Now at the same time, you're pushing firmly into the mat with your left heel. So your left leg is actually staying active. Now try not to move your leg. Keep it drawing in actively toward your right armpit and just lighten up your hands a little bit. And if you want, you can even lift your hands off just to see if your leg can continue to stay active and stay where it is. And now bring your hands back to your knee. You're going to use your left hand and begin to carry your right leg, still bent, over your body, over toward the left. At the same time, open your right arm like a cactus out toward the right. You might find here that your head naturally starts to turn to the right, and if that's the case, then allow that to happen. Now, you want to make sure that your left hand is not grasping on with a death grip onto your right knee. So make sure it's nice and light. Try to relax your legs a little bit. It's a very gentle spinal rotation, so you're not trying to jam your body into any shapes that it doesn't want to go in. Just let the movements happen organically. And the direction of your right shoulder is coming back toward the mat. And check in again that your jaw is completely relaxed. Also here, start to draw in your breath. Deep inhale through your nose. And out of your mouth, exhale everything out. Slowly come back to center. Using both hands, squeeze your right leg in one more time. And then lengthen your right leg out. Open your hands, open your arms, fully on your back for one breath. And now bend your left leg, and you're going to bring your left knee, using your hands, in toward your left shoulder, your left armpit. So your leg is actually not coming directly in toward your chest where your ribs are going to block it, but a little bit external, so you're to the left of your left side body. And that way you've got a little bit more space to be able to draw your knee closer to your armpit. Now, feeling your right heel digging into the mat, your entire back body planted firmly on the ground, start to lighten up your hands. And you can even lift them and just see, just play. See where your leg goes. Does it stay where it is? Does it move a little bit? Can you activate a little more? And then bringing your hands back onto your leg. Right hand on your left knee. You're going to draw your leg over your body toward the right while you open your left arm to the left, bringing your left shoulder back to the mat. And you might find that your head is going to drop over to the left. Of course, you can still have your eyes closed here. You can just feel your way through these positions. Check that your right hand is nice and relaxed, a sweet little grasp of your left knee. And begin to inhale deeply into your nose. And exhale out of your mouth. Slowly come back to center. Use your hands to squeeze your left knee in one more time. And now bring your right knee up too. And again, push your big toes together. Hands on your knees, knees wide apart. From here, begin to draw some little circles with your legs. So the circle is actually being drawn on your lower back. And if it's not a perfect circle, that's okay. It might be more of a square. Change direction. This is almost like getting a little massage right there on your lower back. Really feel into each point as it presses into the mat. And come back to center. Bring your feet up toward the ceiling. If you have not opened your eyes yet, then maybe you can start to blink your eyes open. hands behind your hips, and you're just going to roll yourself up to a seated position. So find a seated position that works. You can keep your legs crossed. You might want to sit yourself up on a pillow to raise your pelvis a little bit, and that might be a little bit more comfortable for you. Really rooting into the ground or into the pillow if that's what you're sitting on, and feeling a long spine. Bring your hands, palms onto your knees, and inhale to lengthen up through your head, a light grip on your knees. And exhale, feel that you stay with that length in your spine. You don't lose it, but you're able to exhale and keep your core activated. Now from here, with your hands on your knees, but without grasping on tightly, just a light grip, you're going to start to make little circles with your body. So with all of your top body, your chest, your shoulders, your head, just make some gentle circles in one direction. We'll do both. So change directions. It doesn't matter which way you go first. And this is just some free movement to start waking up the spine a little bit. And when you come back to center, again, inhale to gain some length in your spine. And then as you exhale, you're going to start to push your ribs over to the right or the left. Again, we're going to do both sides. And bring your chest forward. And then exhale to the left and starting to go back. Now, let your breathing just appear where it needs to. So the inhale where it feels like it comes natural, the exhale, same story. But we're trying to isolate the movement more into the rib area. So moving less our shoulders and our head, but just trying to really feel in to our center. And then change direction. And just, again, knowing that there is no such thing as doing these perfectly. It's perfect if you're feeling something. And then come back to center. One more time, inhaling into your nose, lengthening your spine. And then out of your mouth, exhaling. Roll over your knees, and we're going to come into tabletop. Check your alignment. Your wrists directly below your shoulders, your knees directly below your hips. Spread your fingers wide and push your toes into the mat. Push the crown of your head forward and lengthen through your tailbone, drawing your belly button in. So feel the length in your back body here. And on an inhale, you're going to begin to activate your hands toward your knees. Your belly will drop a little bit, and it's like you're pulling your heart forward. There's a hook on your chest, and it's getting drawn forward, but at the same time, also your tailbone is getting drawn back. So it's a double action that's lengthening you out. And then as you exhale, push into your hands, push into your knees and to your toes. Drop your gaze between your knees. Open the area between your shoulder blades and enjoy all of that opening. Begin to inhale. Belly starts to sink down. Pull your hands back toward your knees. Gaze forward. Exhale. You're going to round your spine as though you're trying to attach your spine up to the ceiling. Draw your belly button in. One more time with your breath, inhaling, lengthening your throat, and exhaling, pushing everything out. Come back to the center, and from here you're going to lift your left toes and rotate, pivoting on your left knee to bring your left toes to the outside of the mat. From here, begin to bring your right foot to the back of the mat and inhale to bring your right hand up to the sky. Now, you want the bottom of your foot to be firmly planted down and really concentrate on pushing the right side of your foot into the mat. Begin to cactus your right arm, so 90 degrees, and start to feel as you push your left hand into the mat and your left knee and toe, you're going to begin to get a contraction in your left side body. Push your heart forward and close that space between your shoulder blades. And now again, push into the right side of your right foot and see if you can start to even rotate slightly up toward the ceiling. You're going to feel a lot of contraction in your left side body. Let that be there. Next, exhale. Lengthen your right arm over your right ear and feel that your arm is nice and strong. We're not just letting our arm hang, but we're actually using a lot of muscle power to lengthen the right arm over our right ear, trying to open up even more the space between our right ribs and make a little rainbow out of your body. So a nice curve from your right fingertips down to your right foot. Keep a soft bend in your left elbow. And then on an exhale, you're going to begin to look down. Bring your right hand down. Bring your left toes back to center. And from here, bending your right leg, you're going to bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Now, to do this, if you need to take a couple of steps with your right foot, that's absolutely fine. Do however many steps you need to get your right foot up by your right hand. Now, with your right knee directly above your ankle, come up with hands onto your right knee. And from here, you can shift your pelvis a little bit forward to get more lengthening in the front of the left hip area. Open your chest, and if this feels comfortable, then you can begin to lift your arms to the sky and look up. Keep your left leg activated, so it's like you're trying to pull your left knee forward. And if that is ever uncomfortable, then you can put a small towel or something underneath your left knee if the ground is a little bit too hard and it causes some pain. On an exhale, you're going to come down with your hands and come onto fingertips and start to shift your hips back in a way that's it's basically your right hip is coming back, and that is what is lengthening your right leg. Pushing your right heel into the mat, opening your toes, and keeping a soft bend in your right knee. Now here, it might help if you do have blocks or books to prop your hands on. It'll give you a little bit more height, and you might find that that works better. Either way, activate your hands back, push into your right heel, and keep trying to draw your right hip toward the back of the mat and your heart toward the front of the mat. So we're lengthening the back of the right leg, the hamstrings, and our spine at the same time. Inhale, come back to center. You can move your blocks aside if you use them. And from here, bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Hands flat on the mat. You're just going to lift your leg and bring it back into tabletop. From here, fingers spread wide. Inhale, belly drops, lengthen your throat, pull your shoulders back, your heart forward. And then exhale, rounding your spine. Come back into tabletop. Lift your right toes, and you're going to pivot on your right knee. Bring your toes to the ground. Like we did on the other side, from here, bring your left foot to the back of the mat. Foot is flat, and you're really trying to push the left side of your left foot down. Begin to lift your left hand up to the sky. If it's comfortable on your neck, you can have your gaze up toward your left hand. And begin to feel, by powerfully pushing into your left foot and your right hand, you're lifting your rib cage up toward the ceiling. Try to push your heart slightly forward and squeeze together your shoulder blades. Left arm like a cactus. Nice and powerful. You can feel the muscles in your left arm working. Keep a soft bend in your right elbow. And then on your next exhale, you're going to start to lengthen your left arm over your left ear and feel the contraction in your right side body as you open the space in your left ribs. Relax your jaw, and you can, if it's comfortable, again, on your neck, you can start to almost rotate to look up and your ribs rotating slightly up. On your next exhale, begin to look down. Bring your left hand down, right toes back to center. Lifting left heel, bend into your left leg, and softly step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Controlling, or checking, sorry, that you've got your left knee over your left ankle. You can bring both hands up onto your knee. Again, if you need something underneath your right knee to help cushion it, then just do that. That's completely fine. And from here, if it feels okay, you can shift your pelvis forward, get a little bit more of a lengthening in your right hip, and then bring your hands up to the sky. Nice and strong in your core, lengthening your fingertips up, 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 up. And on an exhale, begin to bring your hands to the mat. Shift your hips back in order to lengthen the back of your left leg, keeping a soft bend in your left knee. And again, if you would like to raise your hands on blocks or books, then you can use your hands to drag back as you pull your heart forward, and you're actively digging into your left heel here. Spread your toes. On your next inhale, bend back into your left leg. You can move your blocks to the side. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot, and that way you can step your left foot back. Inhale again, dropping your belly. Exhale, rounding your spine. Inhale, dropping the belly. And exhale, rounding the spine. Come back to center, pushing into your hands. You can lift your knees by pushing into your toes. Push your hands forward, gently shift your ribs toward your thighs. Begin to lift your hips, and we'll come into just one downward facing dog. And nothing exaggerated. So you want your hands to be shoulder distance apart, your feet are hips distance apart, and keep your knees bent. And you can pedal your legs out a little bit just to get some length into your calves. A little bit more. Feel your core nice and strong. Try to give a little space to your neck by moving the top of your ears in the direction of your thumbs. And then come back to a solid downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale into your nose. And out of your mouth, exhale everything out. Come onto your tiptoes. Come down onto your knees. And sit back for a moment onto your heels. Bring your hands onto your thighs with your palms facing up. And close your eyes. Check in with your breathing and see where you're at. Trying to, again, bring your awareness and your attention to your breathing, to that constant that brings us from the beginning of the practice to the end. And begin to flutter your eyes open. And from here, just shift onto your bum. And we're going to go into a modified pigeon. So sitting down with your bum firmly rooted on the ground, bring your left leg in front of you. And when you do this, You're going to have your left foot flexed, so it forms a 90-degree angle. Your shin is parallel to the top of your mat, and you'll find that your left knee is slightly left of your left hip. So it's not directly aligned, but it's a little bit toward the left. From here, pushing into the left side of your left foot, you're going to bring your right leg to the right, again, 90 degree, and your right knee is aligned with your right hip. Your right ankle is directly behind your right knee, and your right foot is flexed. So the reason for flexing your feet is to keep them activated and pushing into the mat and to ensure that we're not going to hurt our ankles. Now, just being in this position already gets quite intense in your right hip, and you probably feel it. So with your hands on the mat, try to see what happens when you start to activate different things. So if you push your right knee down, or you push your left foot a little more strongly, just to be curious and explore. You can stay like this, or if you have a little bit of space and you would like, you can walk your hands to the right. So you're basically rotating your body to face the space that's formed between your left foot and your right knee. And from here, you can start to use your hands to pull yourself a little bit forward, but these are minimal movements that from the outside, you might not even be able to perceive. But I'm sure you can feel in your right hip every movement that you're making right now. So go slowly and explore and just see what's going on. Relax your jaw. And if you do feel a little bit of resistance, then try to bring your breath into that resistance and exhaling, and you're welcome to exhale out of your mouth at any point in the practice. See if you can melt a little bit of that resistance away. If you can start to peel the layers away. And then begin to slowly come back to center. Now use your right hand a little bit like like a crane or something that's gonna lift your right leg slowly. And bring your right leg over your left leg. Now you can keep both legs bent, and you might want to scoot your left foot closer to your right hip so you can actually sit both sides of your bum down on the ground. If this is a little too much, or you want to try something different, you can also extend your left leg, and that will ensure a little bit more that your right side of your bum is firmly planted on the ground. So see what you would like to do and work with that. Again, I invite you to change things up and try different things. It's good to be curious and explore. Here you need your right foot and your right knee to point in the same direction. Again, feel yourself grounded in on both sides of your bum. Bring your right fingertips behind your tailbone. And again, pressing into the right side of your bum, firmly into the ground. Inhale to lift your left fingertips to the sky, and exhale, rotate to the right, but we're going to bring our left elbow to the outside of our right knee, but don't use that as what rotates you. So it's not like you're just trying to swing and get your elbow hooked and then turn. See how far you can get by just turning your body to the right, your ribs to the right, pulling your right shoulder back, and then let your elbow be the last thing that comes down. And you also might want to choose to just hug your right knee with your left arm. So that'll be a less intense rotation with your spine. Once you find your position, then begin to inhale. Feel your bum heavily going down into the mat and your spine lengthening. And then exhale as you begin to look over your right shoulder, if it's okay, on your neck. Jaw relaxed. And just feel your whole center getting squished and squeezed. And then come back into the middle. Release your feet, your legs. Bring your feet to the ground in front of you and just shake things out for a moment. And now we'll go into the other side. So just like before, but with our right leg now parallel to the top of the mat, right knee slightly to the right of our hip, right foot flexed. Bringing left foot to the left side, left knee aligned with our left hip, left ankle aligned with the left knee, left foot flexed. I think I just said left and right about 1,000,000 times. I hope you're with me. Now, with your fingertips on the ground, here you're going to find your whole body wants to kind of dump over to the right. So even just trying to maintain your body straight and vertical is going to go into your left hip, and you'll feel that. Note too how this side might be quite different from the other side. It usually is. And just breathe. Again, you can activate into different things. So playing around with activating more your left foot, your right foot, your left knee, your hands. And if you would like, you can start to walk your hands over toward the left. Slight rotation to the left. Now, if you lose the length of your spine to do this and you find yourself curving over with your upper back, then just stay central. It's more important to keep that length in your spine. But if you can keep that length and want to play around with trying to rotate slightly into that space in between your right foot and your left knee, then you can do that. Again, we're trying to do a little bit of an analysis in our body and just feel the different sensations that come up. And if you do feel a block, then try to exhale and let it melt away. Because we want to melt away tension and not just move it to another spot in our body. So we need to find, with a nice deep exhale, you can really release that. If you did rotate, then start to come back to center. Use the help of your left hand to begin to very gently lift your left leg, and you're going to bring it over the top of your right leg. You can move your right foot a little closer to your left hip and feel the left side of your bum sink down, grounded onto the mat. Left knee, left foot point in the same direction. And you have the option, just like on the other side, to keep your right leg extended in front of you, because you're still going to get the rotation in your body now when we twist. It'll just help you stay more stable on your bum. From here, bring your left fingertips behind you. They kind of tuck into your tailbone. And inhale to lengthen your body. Exhale, rotating to the left and using your core to rotate, and then bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left knee, or your right arm to hug your left knee. From here, inhaling to lengthen, pushing into both of your feet, and exhaling to look over your left shoulder. If your right leg is extended, then you're pushing into your right heel. And again, you're not using your right elbow too much to push and rotate, but you want to be rotating using your own inner strength. Try to see if you can shift your left hip a little bit more to the ground. And then on an inhale, come back to the center. From here, bring the soles of your feet together. And you're going to actually shift the soles of your feet that are united a little bit farther away from you, so you've got a diamond shape formed with your legs. Bring your hands to the bottom of your knees, on your shins, below your knees. And from here, inhale to pull your heart forward, lengthen out your throat, and look up toward the sky. On an exhale, rounding your spine, your gaze drops to your belly button, and you can shift slightly back on your tailbone. Inhale inhale one more time with your breath to come up and forward. And then exhale, rounding your spine. Inhale, coming back up and forward with your heart, lengthening your throat. And this time, exhaling, you're going to walk your hands forward. Now, without grabbing your feet and trying to draw your face toward your feet, just let your hands rest on the ground. Let your head drop. We're not trying to pull ourselves into this position. We just want to release our spine. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then inhaling, come back up. Bring your feet to the mat, legs bent, and gently roll down onto your back. And from here, lengthen out your legs. Lengthen out your arms for Shavasana. You can allow yourself to fully arrive here by taking one more deep inhale into your nose. And out of your mouth, exhale. Let everything release fully. Try to feel that there's no resistance at all, nowhere in your body. Your entire back body is sinking down so heavily, it's as though it has become part of the ground. Like water when it seeps into the earth. Feel your face relaxed, your jaw relaxed. Let those tingly feelings flow through your body. And here in Shavasana, I invite you to remain for as long as you wish. At least for a few minutes, and even longer if you'd like. Just trying to soak in this silence in your body and your mind.